Okay, everybody, hello and welcome to C1 Week 19, in which we are going to be looking at money and work. We're going to discuss money and we're going to discuss work and also talk about, does money make us happy in a sense? What we're going to do is we're going to begin with the class. Remember, we have class every Friday at 11 o'clock and also at 7 o'clock. This is the 7 o'clock class, and we are recording the class so that you can review them. What are we going to review today? We're actually going to review the grammar of the passive voice. The passive is very easy to form. We use the object, the verb to be, participle, and then complements. However, the difficult part is to know when do we use the passive. We have seen previously the causative passive. I get my hair cut every weekend. The impersonal passive. It is said that finding a job is difficult in Spain. And now we're looking at the normal passive. The president was shot in 1963, for example. Now, we use the passive for these contexts. We use the passive when the subject, lo que hace la acción, the subject does not matter. So if the subject is not important, then we will use the passive. So we use it when the subject is unknown. For example, the employee was fired yesterday. Who fired the employee? Well, I don't know. It is unknown. We use it when the subject is obvious. For example, the new analyst has been hired. Who by? Well, by the human resources department. It's obvious. We also use it when the subject is unimportant. The project has been initiated, meaning it was begun by someone. Who started it? Well, it's not really important. The passive is easy to form, but it's difficult to know when you use it, because when we translate in our heads, it is not always the same. We need to know how to use it and how to form it. We use it a lot in use, or simply when we don't know who does something, or simply it is obvious who does something, or simply it is unimportant who does something. So, what should we be doing? We are going to discuss some questions related to work, and we're simply going to look at extending our answers. Ways to extend our answers are quite simple. You can use contrast and changing the tense. I am currently working in a bank, but in the past, I used to work as a school teacher. We can use connectors to give examples. Currently, I'm looking for a job. I am looking for a specific type of job, such as a waiter or in a shop. So, you can give examples. Other things we can do are to give our opinions, to give reasons why, or, hello, we can actually give an impersonal passive to give a general opinion. It is said that looking for a job is very frustrating, but I get the feeling that it is something you need to be very patient with and you need to take your time, for example. So we're going to review some questions and go over together. So, Yolanda, I'm going to ask you the first question. Are you currently job hunting? To hunt is to cazar, of course. So to hunt for a job is to look for a job. So, Yolanda, are you currently job hunting?
No, at the moment, I am okay in my job. Particularly is near from my home and is comfortable for me. and nowadays I'm not interested in another job.
Good. So you're not currently interested in changing job. You are quite happy with your career path. That's a very lucky thing, and that's a very good thing for you. Good. Okay, thank you. Santi, what is troublesome, meaning problematic, troublesome about being a job seeker? To seek is to look for. A job seeker is a person who is looking for a job. So what's difficult about it?
It's difficult to find a job that suits you perfectly because usually jobs have something have some drawbacks. So you have to choose, for instance, between a well-paid job but with a poor hourly, poor timetable, or a job with better timetable but that you won't earn a lot of money, for example.
A worse salary, a lower salary. Good. Now, I like the word you said, to suit you perfectly. We have a good expression for this. To suit somebody down to the ground. If you say, my job suits me down to the ground, it means it suits me perfectly. So it is a very, very, very good form to use. Okay. Fantastic. Next one, please, Clara. It is said that unemployment, el desempleo, el paro, unemployment is a problem in Spain. What's your opinion on the issue?
Hi, yes, I think so because, for example, 3 or 4 days ago, I saw in the new that in Spain, almost 90% of the contracts are temporarily, and this is almost 20% or 25%, I can't remember, of the unemployment in Spain.
Wow, it's crazy, isn't it? When you think about it, it's a lot. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
it's a
it was
lot.
this much. I didn't realize it was that much. I honestly didn't. That is a little scary.
Yeah,
Well, if you really think about it, all jobs are temporary because if somebody really wants to fire you, you can be fired. Like, even if you work for the state, if something goes wrong with the state, they will not worry about you. They will fire you too. Yeah. So really, yeah, it is worrying. And it's scary for people because people do not feel safe. And obviously, the economy does not work well if people are not confident in the economy. Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
Next question. Jorge, are you interested in setting up a business?
Well, for me, it's a tricky question because it's difficult to setting up a business now in Spain because there are a lot of difficulties for the legislation or the
Legislation.
laws,
Yeah.
the laws of this country. And for me, I think that I don't want to set up a business because I don't have an idea, a good idea to not be pinching pennies at the end of the month.
Yeah, I know that's a problem. I like your expression, to not be pinching pennies at the end of the month, because of course we all want to make ends meet. Llegar a final del mes. We all want to make ends meet, and obviously, when you set up a business, there is no guarantee that you will make money. Now, I have personal experience with this. Obviously, when I started the business, wow, it was very difficult at the beginning. Okay, fantastic. Next one, please. Fabio, it's your turn. Would you need to spend an arm and a leg to start a company?
Okay, what does it mean exactly? Spend an arm and a
Ooh,
leg
it's a
to
good
start a company?
question. A good question. To spend an arm and a leg is spend a body part. When you
Mhm.
say gastar un riñón or un ojo en la cara in Spanish, costar un ojo en la
Mhm.
cara, we're talking about a lot of money. In English, it's the same. Spend an arm and a leg is to spend a lot of money. You need to invest a lot of money, a large sum of money.
To start a company, not to start to work in a
No, to
company.
start a company, you build the company.
Honestly, I don't know the answer.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. It's widely known that yes, that yes, you will need to spend an arm and a leg to initiate to start working on behalf of your own sign, of your own company. And I think it is a difficulty it is a difficult point if you are an initiative and a proactive person, or if you decide to working as a freelance, and I think it is a very difficult point.
Yeah, I think it's difficult at the beginning, but it does depend on the type of business. There are some that you need to invest more money than others, of course. But obviously, this is only a problem if you don't have the money, because if you have to go to the bank and ask for a loan, it is much more difficult than if you already have the money, of course. Okay, fantastic. Right. Is there anybody that I'm missing? I think I've asked everybody, right? Yep. Okay, well, I will ask Santi this one. What is so awkward about doing a job interview? What does awkward mean?
Es incómodo.
Yeah, uncomfortable, difficult. Yeah, something that you dislike. Yeah.
Okay, I think that doing a job interview is always very awkward because you are being evaluated from a person that you don't know anything about that person.
Yeah.
Particularly, that person can be very rude or can ask you question that you don't want to answer or that type of thing. So
Yeah,
you
that can be a problem. Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
that and also you don't know how to answer that question, the questions for getting a job, because usually the interviewer asks you tricky questions.
Well, they do it on purpose to see what resources you have to communicate. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What do you want to say? They try to find if you are lying for something. You have to prove your points. That type of things.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a good way of using like a filter to see who is the type of person that you want to have. However, I know some companies have got into problems because they were doing too many job interviews. I read an article not long ago saying that Google did over 16 interviews on average per candidate that they employed. 16 interviews is insane. The most I have ever done for a job, 16, like 16,
Oh, okay.
16, yeah. The most I've ever had to do for a job was 4, and I thought that was excessive. But you never know, yeah. Some people say it's necessary, some people don't. I don't really know. Okay. What's your view on the topic, Maria? Sorry, I forgot you, Maria.
Oh, don't worry.
Because you went to
Okay.
the, yeah, no, I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I am on the same page. Interview can be awkward when you are asked uncomfortable questions. So too personal questions, so you don't want to answer to it inappropriate, like where
Are
things,
you
very
married?
personal things.
Are
Oh
you
yeah,
married?
yeah,
Do you want
marital
to have children?
status.
These things are
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
illegal. You're
your
not allowed to
marital
ask this.
status
Yeah.
are too personal questions. So,
Yeah.
or
These
yeah,
things shouldn't be asked. But I've been asked about my religion in a job interview, which is illegal. Under European law, they cannot ask you about your religion in a.
yeah, about your religion or about your the party, political party you are.
Yeah,
Like this.
I've
So
heard
this is
about
not
this.
acceptable, not at all.
My wife was asked not long ago in a job interview if she was thinking of having more children in the future, which
Yeah.
you're not allowed to ask this. She has children. She explained that she did, but they can't ask, "Are you thinking of having more?" Yeah, that's completely illegal. You can't do that. Yeah, so yeah, it can be very uncomfortable. You're right. Okay, it's a good way to extend your answer is to give examples. Make sure you do not limit yourself to just saying, for example, for example, for example. Okay, it's a bad idea. Now, what we're actually going to do is we're going to look at a conversation task. We are going to discuss and interact about a situation. And I want us to focus on avoiding hesitation. Avoiding hesitation is a key skill because when you hesitate, it impedes comprehension. If you say a lot, it is difficult to follow what you are saying. It is difficult to understand. You need to avoid hesitation, one, by using connectors effectively. I am thinking of getting a new job because I would really like to work abroad. However, I'm not sure if I can go with my family. Therefore, I am thinking of applying for a job in Madrid. If you use connectors effectively, it is a good way to avoid hesitation. But we can also use time fillers. Things like, well, good question. That's a difficult question. That's a hard question. That's a tough question. That's a tricky question. Let me see. Let's see. Let's have a look. Let me think. That's a tough one. Sort of, kind of. One moment. Wait a second. Hold on a second. Just a minute. Okay? We use these as fixed phrases or language islands to fill time. If Fabio asks me, Mark, are you thinking of getting another job? I could say, well, I am thinking of getting a new job in the near future because blah, 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 blah. Okay? And then I avoid hesitation. Okay? So let me see. I would like, please, Clara and Fabio to speak together now about a situation. And I want you to avoid hesitation. So, Clara, Fabio, you are going to discuss this point. Now, I would like you to talk about something together for about 2 minutes. Here are some ideas for you to talk about and a question for you to discuss. First, you have some time to look at the task. So, the task. Why might people see these things as essential possessions that they could not do without? So why do some people think they cannot live without a mobile phone, a credit card, a computer, a car, or stylish clothing, fashionable clothing? All right? You're going to speak together for about 2 minutes, and then I will ask for a conclusion. All right? Clara, Fabio, can you please speak together?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So let me see. I would say that all of these are essential objects or devices, even devices, essential in our daily life. However, I would choose the first one and the computer as the most significant elements to be used, at least for me. I don't know what is your opinion, Clara.
For me, the first possession would be the mobile or the cell phone, because nowadays the computer is not like 15 years ago when you didn't have a phone, and when you arrived at home, you have the computer. But today you have the computer on your hand, and this is the phone. Well, what do you think?
That's it. Good.
In my case, I use together at 50%. I mean, I don't prefer the one over the other. For example, no, I use them simultaneously with the same importance level in my life. For example, the cell phone, I use it especially to socialize, for example. But the computer, I use it to do tasks related, for example, as administrative tasks or professional tasks. That unfortunately it is a very important part of my life. For example, I'm here joined using a computer. I don't know if you are joined in the meeting using a phone device, for example.
Well, tablet, maybe, yeah.
Or a tablet.
Yeah, it depends. Also, if you have the phone or your computer about such an addiction, or for work, or for doing something, or doing a productive.
Do you have an addiction?
Sorry?
Do you have an addiction?
An addiction to
No,
technology.
not addiction, but
I think we all have an addiction to technology.
exactly. I think that unfortunately most of us have a mobile addiction, or social network addiction, YouTube, or whatever page in internet. But okay, this is for mobile and computer. About credit card, yeah, it's an essential possession today because we have to pay, and the cash is disappearing.
Disappearing.
So yeah, you can have the credit card in a contactless way in your phone, or maybe the physical credit card. But little by little, the cash will disappear. What do you think?
The cash, the cash is disappear when you have money once in the past. For example, no, I'm joking. I was kidding you. In my case, for example, it is not an essential possession because I have no money, too much money in my bank, so I cannot use the credit card a lot.
Credit card, but it's like
a credit card is on credit, not debit.
On credit.
Debit means only the money in your bank. A credit card is money you do not have.
Okay,
Yeah.
I understand, like credit card in this sense is like a debit card, but okay. I don't have credit card, for example. I just have debit card. No, really.
When I bought my house, my flat, they obligated me to have a credit card as part of the deal.
Yeah, but I haven't bought a house yet.
Yeah, it's very common for people to have a credit card nowadays. Okay, now you have 1 minute. Decide which one thing on this list could you not live without? Which is the one essential thing that you would hate to live without?
In my case, for
Okay.
example, I will say that I cannot live without the phone device. Unfortunately, and I don't like to say this, but yes, as you have mentioned, Mark, everybody has an addiction with the cell phone. Probably
To their phone, addiction to their phone.
to the phone. Sorry, has an addiction to the phone. Somebody has an addiction, and they feel a pleasure using the phone. But in my case, for example, I don't feel this pleasure using the phone. Only I don't notice, and I'm using it, and I'm checking chats conversation, the same websites, which I have checked before, and I don't notice. I don't know if it happens on you.
To
But
you.
it happens on me.
Mhm.
Have I
Okay.
explained it correctly, Mark? Because I have the
Yeah,
feeling
yeah,
that
you explained it. You just used the preposition on instead of to.
to me, or
Yeah.
to, yeah, okay,
I don't
okay.
know if this happens to you also, if this also happens to you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, to me, to
Now,
you, okay.
yeah,
And I said
same.
on you, sorry.
Yes, exactly. But it does, I can understand it still. Now, Clara, do you agree about the mobile phone?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I agree.
I think most people would answer the question with this one. Okay, fantastic. Now, we are actually going to repeat this situation because there are 6 of us in the class today. And Yolanda, Maria, you're going to speak together. I would like you, please, to discuss the same situation and talk about essential possessions that you could not live without. When I ask you, I will ask for a conclusion. Okay?
One question,
Now-
Mark.
Yes.
The question of the task is why.
Yeah. Why might some people find these
My
things?
people, not it's
What is
for,
the thing? Yeah.
yeah, why? Not for hours, but in
Yeah,
general.
in general,
think.
exactly. You can give your own personal opinion, but you you should be using impersonal passives as well. It is said that most people believe that, so yes, you should.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Let's go.
Shall I start, Maria?
Yeah, please.
It is said that mobile phone are considered an essential possession for a lot of people because they have a computer in their hand and are connected with other people and have all the information in the same hand. Do you feel the same, Maria?
Oh, yes, definitely. Nowadays, smartphones or iPhones, so mobile phones generally, they're sort of computers, mini computers. So since you can't do everything with them, they are essential for our existence. So yeah, I totally agree. Mobile phones are absolutely crucial, but fortunately, they make us to be addicted to them. But
Yeah.
I also think that the computer, not the mobile only. Okay, so the computer is very important also.
I
Right?
completely agree with you. The computer is also important for many people for the same reason. It's another device that you can do so many different things, but more comfortable maybe because you can be sit on a desk. And maybe for that reason, with the computer can spend another time in your life.
Yeah, of course, computers are complex.
But regarding private transportation, such a car, many people claim that it's very important for them and an essential utility because they live in the countryside and they need to they need to arrive to other places very fast, and that car gives them a freedom to go to different places when they want.
Yes, of course.
How does sound for you?
Yeah, of course. A personal car is also important, is generally accepted that this is very useful, mostly in the places with the public transportation a little bit, I don't know how to say,
Inefficient, maybe?
inefficient, inefficient, or not enough developed, or maybe
Okay.
there are places when, or like villages or small villages, or
where there is a lack of public transportation.
no transportation. So of course, and that's why people might not be able to live without, so they or to struggle to live without transport means. But yes, of course, this could be the third thing that people might consider being as essential. So not to be. Yes, of course. As for stylish clothing, come on, this I can't accept it. At least for me, in my opinion, stylish clothing are not essential. So the clothes you can dress up, or you can wear clothes without being brand clothes, or I don't know. And
branded clothes.
And I see your point, Maria. I am totally agree with you, but it's not my case. I am not follow fashionable clothes, but I have to recognize that for many people are follow the tendencies and the stylish clothing in every season is highly important, and they buy the latest models and clothes because for that people is essential to follow that. I'm not in the same wavelength
on the same wavelength as you.
I'm not on the same wavelength that people.
You. As
no,
yes,
no, I am on the same wavelength than Maria, but not that people who follow the stylish clothing.
Of course, I know what you mean. I know.
Okay, thank you. Now, I would like you to choose one thing that you think most people could live without. So, the opposite. Which is the one thing you think people could live without?
So, a good question. So, as for me, in my case, I consider that people could live without stylish clothing. Okay, that's very clear. And you, Yolanda?
I have the same opinion that you. You can live very happy without having to follow the trends. Yes.
Yeah. course.
I completely agree with you.
Okay, thank you very much. A very good conversation. Thank you. Now, Jorge and Santi, it's your turn, I think, isn't it? Or, yeah, Jorge and Santi. I would like you, please, to discuss the discussion questions at the bottom. I want you to speak for at least 1 minute about each question. So, the first one, for some reason, many people keep trying to buy happiness. Do you think this is possible?
Okay, that's a good question, because happiness is different for person to person. So find it maybe can be by money, by some people, but for other not. For example, if there is a experience that you want to do and you have been waiting for years to go to that place or do something, you can buy happiness, momentary happiness with money, but that happiness won't be for all your life. Are we in the same page?
Yes, I see your point, because if you are talking about well, sorry, let me see, about short happiness in a short time, you can buy your happiness, because it's like you said, if you want to go, you want to try a new experience, and you need the money, and for you it's important, you need to buy or pay for that. But if we are talking about a long feeling of happiness, you can buy for your things, or for your. I think you need to talk about other things, not to buy a product, experience, or travels. I think happiness is more like your day by day and your family or your friends.
Exactly. So you need to bear other things in mind. You need to take other things into account. Okay. Now, next question. Would you prefer to have spare money or a loving family?
Okay.
For us? For Santi and for me?
Yes, for you two again. Yes.
Okay,
You're
sorry.
continuing.
I think I prefer a loving family. Also, although I don't have so much money, and I think it's important, because for the future you need to be 5 to 50 to 50 money or loving family, because it's important for you for your own. And what do you think about that, Santi?
I completely agree with you, because the spare money you can waste it buying stupid things, but the love of your family is forever. And maybe you can earn or lose money, but the family is going to support you, even is in the worst situations, and the money you can waste it, and it's not going to give you nothing.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I
Okay,
think the
thank
same.
you. I think the same. Good. Let's take a look at one more question together. Why are some people so obsessed with shopping and purchasing things that they don't need? To purchase is to buy. So why are so many people obsessed with shopping, buying things that they don't need?
That is a very good question, and it's something that I think about a lot about it. as far as I'm concerned, is about the status, because you want when a person buy things that that he don't need, is usually because he wants the other people to think that he has a lot of money and he has a lot of status. So I know people who is earning maybe 1,000 euros and is buying an iPhone, which is what he earned in 2 months or something like that. And he wants to lie to the other people to think that he has an status or a money that he really doesn't have.
It's just to show off, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. Now, these discussion questions, basically, you just express your opinion. There is no correct, incorrect answer. So you don't need to doubt. Give your personal experience. If you have no experience or you don't have an opinion, use the passive. It is said that, it is believed that, it is thought that, to express it.
Sorry, I
key-
lost my connection.
Okay, don't worry. I think the key is to express an opinion, can be an impersonal opinion or a personal opinion. But just to continue the conversation and avoid hesitation. Now, we actually have some rephrasing using the impersonal passive. This is in the grammar book. You need to review and try to fill in the gaps using the impersonal passive. For the people looking at the recording, así que solamente los que están viendo la grabación, ¿vale? No, es que no nos da tiempo a hacer todos los ejercicios en clase. You need to fill in the gaps using the correct form of the verb in brackets, using shall, be, have, get, be. You fill in the gap using the correct form of the verb in the impersonal passive. Okay? So put the video in pause and then we will look at the answers. Okay, fantastic. Now, here are the answers. Okay, so can you please review them and make sure you understand the impersonal passive? Okay, what we have are some final questions looking at people and happiness. So, Maria, do you think that money can buy happiness?
No,
Use
definitely.
the impersonal passive, please, in your answer.
It is said that people are tempted to think like that, but happiness couldn't be bought with money. No way. No. You can have lots of money, okay, not to be pinch pennies, but you could be unhappy. Okay, so if you don't have people around you, people that loved you, or if you're not, you don't feel yourself happy and pleased, no way. You can't use money to buy happiness.
No, I think so. I think you need to share your time and your experiences with people you love. And also, there are many other factors, of course.
Because
Okay.
you get bored very quickly. if you buy
Exactly.
it. That's this
Yeah.
moment.
When we take into account hedonic adaptation, which we were seeing
Hedonic
earlier in the
adaptation.
week, then of course people get used to what they have, and obviously they need new stimulus to actually make themselves feel happy. Now, Yolanda, it's your turn. Number 2. How far do you agree with the opinion that money makes the world go round?
Okay, it's a very good question. I am going to share with you an example. if you buy a product in a supermarket, you spend money in that product. But behind of that product, there is a company who produce the product and who have personnel to produce that product and gives money to that person, that staff. And to produce that product, there are behind of the product in that company buy raw materials to produce that product, and all the companies which produce raw materials has given money to produce and have staff to produce the raw materials. In that way, the money go from your pocket to everywhere.
Exactly, yeah. It was quite a complex answer. You obviously know what you're talking about. Okay, thank you. Now, Clara, it's your turn. Turn, please. Do you find it tough, difficult, tough? So do you find it a tough task to manage your money? Manage is to gestionar el dinero. So do you find it difficult to manage your money?
It's an interesting question. Luckily, in my case, manage my money is not a problem or difficult. My family
support me, help me, maybe?
My family have teach.
Have taught me how to manage it.
Yeah, my family have taught how manage my money from since always.
From an early age would be the best way. From an early age, meaning since I was young. Yeah.
Okay, from an early age. So I didn't spend money in a lot of things or stupid things.
Okay, so you have never wasted money.
Wasted money.
Gastar, yeah.
Yeah, and no, I think that nowadays people don't know how manage money because they spend more than they can earn.
They earn, yeah. It's very common.
Yeah, and so they are constantly in debt.
In debt,
yeah. In debt, yeah. So no, it's not difficult for me manage money.
Very, very good. Okay, good then. Thank you. Santi, let's talk. Why do so many people have money problems nowadays?
Okay, that's a very good question. And the answer is because the prices of everything is so high, and the money that we earn with our jobs isn't as high as the prices.
Yeah, it isn't increasing at the same rate as.
Yes. In the last few years, the increasing of the prices is very high, and but the increases of the salary is so low. So the difference between one thing and the other is provoking that money problems. Also, in my opinion, the people don't know how to manage their money because they usually spend it in stupid things and they don't keep anything.
Yeah,
So
they spend it
if-
on stupid things and they don't save
say
it.
anything. And in the when they have something that they didn't think a problem, maybe the car, their car have a problem and it's broken and they have to pay the bill for the car. They don't have money because they didn't save, thinking that imprevistos, no sé cómo decirlo.
Okay. Unexpected expenses. An
unexpected.
expense is a gasto. So unexpected expenses. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Santi. And sorry to cut you off there. Okay, everyone. Sorry, but that's all we have time for today. Let's look at what we have learned. We have looked at how we can use the passive. Remember, we use passives, the impersonal passive, the causative passive, or the normal passive when the subject is not important, when the subject is obvious, or the subject is unknown. Make sure you review the passives and you understand them. Also, how can we maintain an effective conversation about success and about work? Well, we need to make sure we can form questions and maintain the conversation by initiating and offering new ideas. Then, how can we use connectors to give examples? Do not use for example all the time. We can use like, such as, for instance, in particular, particularly, e.g. There are lots of different ways to give examples. Make sure you review them, please. Okay? If that's it, you can follow us on Instagram or on YouTube, to watch this. And as soon as I upload the class, I will send it to the WhatsApp group so we can review it. If that's it, you have my contact details. And thank you very much, everybody. So thank you. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Same to you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
See you.
Bye.